Hi everyone, Petrik here. It's been a week again since I posted my last video, but this one has certainly taken me some time to do. And this is already super late because today's video is about Petrik's Choice Awards 2024. So usually I post this year-end award video at the end of the year. And yeah, usually I always post this as the last video in the month of December, but yeah, I couldn't find the time to record, edit, and also post it. And now, I finally have the time, well, almost 2 weeks, 2 weeks into the month of January, but better late than never. So yeah, this will be like an award video, like to conclude my year of 2024. The first half will be dedicated to books, and then the second half will be dedicated to video games, movies, TV show, anime, and manga. So you can choose which one you want to watch. But I just want to mention one thing here. There's one special thing about this year's Petrik's Choice Awards, because as I said at the beginning of the year, and I will repeat this again this year, the book that I chose to be the best self-published in the year 2024 will receive the Broken Binding Press edition. Eventually, I cannot promise when yet, but it will happen. And yeah, I have made my decision. So you can find out about that in this video. But anyway, let's get started immediately. We have more than 20 topics, 20 categories to cover, so I will try to be brief with each and every one of them. Let's begin with the first one, the most surprisingly good novel. For this one, I'm going to choose The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Long. This is a cozy fantasy novel, and also, in my opinion, one of the best debuts this year. It is great, it is also heartwarming, and I did not expect I would enjoy this one as much as Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry, but I certainly did. If you are in the mood of something more heartwarming and more cozy, you cannot go wrong with reading The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Long. And then moving on to the next category, this is for the best novella, and for this one, I'm going to choose The Narrow Road Between Desires by Petrik. Yes, this is an expansion of The Lightning Tree, and although I did enjoy The Lightning Tree more somehow, but I cannot deny that this is still the best novella that I read in the year 2024, and I don't know which novella will become the best one this year, but I will find out. But yeah, this one, I don't recommend this if you haven't read the Kingkiller Chronicle yet, the main books. But yeah, if you have read those, you want to find out more about Vash, then you can try reading this one. The beautiful illustrations by Nate Taylor inside definitely enhance the quality of the storytelling as well. And moving on to the next category, this is for the category for the best short story. For this one, I'm going to choose something that I don't think I have talked about a lot in my YouTube videos, and this is about The Fangs of Voenos by Christopher Rocchio. So yeah, for this one, this short story actually takes place after the end of Ashes of Man, but before Disquiet Gods, and it is a good. I think there were plenty of short stories that a trilogy of short stories that connects Ashes of Man up to Disquiet Gods, and I highly recommend them all. But Fangs of Voenos, all the other two, all of those are the best short stories that I read in the year 2024. Moving on to the next category, this is for the best standalone novel and also the best new author. To me, both of them at the same time, because both of them belongs to The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. This is the first time I read anything by Ken Follett, and yeah, it is amazing. I have talked about this one in length, and I really love this classic. I'm not surprised why so many people love Pillars of the Earth, and this year I plan to read World Without End. Many people have mentioned that that one is even better than Pillars of the Earth, but I think many agree that the first two books are the best of the entire Kingsbridge series. But for this one, certainly an amazing historical fiction novel, and I can recommend this with my whole heart. It is awesome. And then moving on to the next category, this is for the best debut novels of the year 2024. So I'm talking about books, the first book from the author being released for the first time in 2024. And my pick, it is a difficult one, but if I can only choose one, it is for The Failures by Benjamin Lyer. There is something about this one that just feels special to me because the world building is phenomenal. You don't get this kind of books, this kind of SFF books a lot now in today's market. Just not. And this one, it will require a concentration. It doesn't handhold you, and it's so intricately built. It's just amazing. It's that kind of book, that kind of series that when you go back, you reread the books, you will find so many new things that you did not encounter or realize on your first time reading. And yeah, this is it. The Failures by Benjamin Lyer is that book. And I look forward to reading the sequel. I don't know when that will be out, maybe this year, but whenever that sequel will be out, I'll be reading it for sure. But yeah, this is the best debut novel of the year 2024. There are still some more categories for the books section. Now let's talk about series. The best start to a series. Now I'm cheating a bit here because I'm talking about books that I read in the year 2024, but it is being released in 2025. And this is, hold on, The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. This is also the best fantasy book that I read in the year 2024, not counting a second read, but that this is the best one. I mean, this is Joe Abercrombie. He's my top favorite grimdark fantasy authors, and The Devils. This is the first time I read a book from Joe Abercrombie that is not part of the First Law world, and it is still as entertaining as ever. Maybe this one, as far as entertainment and humor goes, it is more than The First Law. The First Law is more about compelling and well-written characters, and I'm not saying that The Devils doesn't have them, but this is not First Law, but this is suitable to those who love the First Law series. I think that's the best way to really summarize what I felt about The Devils. But if you love Joe Abercrombie's books, definitely read this one. This is an amazing start to a fantasy series. As for the best conclusion, I'm going to go with The Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne. Now, I have mentioned, as far as favorite goes, this is not up there with A Time of Courage or Red by John Gwynne. I think those two are superior compared to The Fury of the Gods. But this is John Gwynne, and I love his writing, I love his storytelling, and even though there were some parts here that I did not really click well with me, I still think that overall this is an amazing, this is still a great conclusion overall. I still end up giving this one, I think, a 4.5 stars out of 5 stars rating. I mean, thinking about it, the year 2024, as far as reading year goes, it is an awful one for me, and this is one of those that kept me engaged throughout the entire novel. So that, at the very least, deserves an acknowledgement. So this is the best concluding volume that I read in the year 2024. And moving on to the next category, this is about the best series that I read in the year 2024. Well, there's only one answer to this, and I have to repeat this again. It is The Sun Eater by Christopher Rocchio. Yeah, there is no doubt that this is the best series. I mean, if I can choose 2 books per series for the top 2, I think the answer would actually be The Kingdoms of Death and also Disquiet Gods, the 4th and the 6th book in the Sun Eater series. And Kingdoms of Death actually became the best book that I read throughout the entire year in 2024. So yeah, for the best series that I read last year, it is The Sun Eater by Christopher Rocchio. And we still have 3 more categories to talk about here. This in the category of books, well, this is about special edition, and then I will talk about best self-published. So for the first one, let's talk about the best special edition that I got. Well, the answer, of course, it will have to be the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin, Curious King edition, featuring illustrations by John Anthony Di Giovanni, and of course, probably the best special edition that I own right now. It is Hyperion by Dan Simmons, Curious King edition. This is the slipcase, not the slipcase, this is the clamshell. But yeah, I just did a reread of Hyperion using this edition. Absolutely amazing experience. But yeah, as far as quality goes, I think it is very hard to find a book that topped this one in my big collection of books. But how about self-published fantasy special edition? There are a lot of those as well. Believe me, it is not fun choosing which one is the best out of all of the special editions that I got in the year 2024, because fortunately, and I am blessed for this, I am truly grateful, I got a lot of them, but I have to choose only 2. And for the traditionally published books, I chose Hyperion and also 5th season by Curious King. As for the self-published fantasy portion, well, I'm going to choose first Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, Raidmark Creative Edition, because I do think that this is the best book published by Raidmark so far. The design, the illustrations by Justin Gerard, I think everything about it is just so gorgeous. And also, for the one published by Merrick Books, and I think you know the answer to this. I can definitely say that the answer is Gunmetal Gods by Zamil Akhtar. This is the kind of special edition where it really shows that the author is pouring everything they can, even if it means the author receive less profit. But this is that kind of example. It features a fold-out map, many interior illustrations, colored and also black and white. And also the only downside about this one is just the thin paper. The paper is a bit too thin, and I know that Zamil Akhtar will fix that in the Conqueror's Blood. I think that's the name of the sequel. But yeah, for now, I think this is actually the best self-published fantasy special edition that I own right now. So well done to Zamil Akhtar for that. And now let's talk about best self-published fantasy book. This is the last category in the section of books, and then we will talk about manga, film, TV show, and video game. So for this one, what is the best self-published fantasy book that I read in the year 2024? The answer to that is the God Eater Saga by Rob J. Hayes. Now, I know that the God Eater Saga, it kind of counts as a special edition already because it is done through Kickstarter campaign. But because this is the best self-published fantasy books or series that I read in the year 2024, and yeah, it will be getting the Broken Binding Press edition eventually. I have talked about this with the Broken Binding and also with Rob J. Hayes. So there will be more details on this to come, but do not expect it to happen soon. I do not think this will happen until probably the second set of the God Eater Saga. So yeah, not happening soon, but it will happen. And I want to say congratulations to Rob J. Hayes for writing this ambitious and epic fantasy series. So yeah, that's it for the section of books. And now, let's talk about all the other media that I consumed in the year 2024. Let's start from manga first. What was the most disappointing manga that I read? Not gonna lie, there's only one for this one, and this is Delicious in Dungeon. To be clear here, I have read only the first 2 volumes. Now, I heard that it will get much better, but the first 2 volumes, it was just so boring, and the illustrations, as expected, were not as incredible as I hope. I have a plan to maybe try watching the TV show adaptation first, because the anime adaptation supposedly is a very, very faithful adaptation to the books, and then after that I continue from the manga. Let me know what you think about Delicious in Dungeon though, if you have read or maybe watched the series. And then, what is the best ongoing manga that I read in 2024? These are tough because some of the ongoing manga that I read actually were completed in the year 2024, such as My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, and yeah, there are other as well. So I cannot talk about those, but for now, I think I can say that Blue Lock and also Spy Family were still the 2 best ongoing manga series that I continue to read in the year 2024. There are other series that I'm in the middle of reading, but I haven't continued with reading them yet, like Vinland Saga, and then many other. There are still many manga series. Actually, I think I did continue reading Vinland Saga in the year 2024, so that counts as one of the best ongoing manga series as well. And then, what is the best completed manga series in 2024 that I completed as well? So this will be going to Noragami by Adachi Toka. Yeah, I love this fantasy, urban fantasy manga series, and it is quite a shock, but Jujutsu Kaisen, it did not make it to the list. The ending, I found it to be super disappointing. It's just, I felt like the author, Gege, just decided to just end it because he felt like he just wanted to end the series. That's what I really felt like. He doesn't want to continue this series anymore and just decided to end with so many questions unanswered. But I still love Jujutsu Kaisen. But if I'm going to choose which one is more satisfying between Jujutsu Kaisen and Noragami, I will have to choose Noragami by Adachi Toka. It is criminally underrated, and also I think it is a great manga series, especially if you are into found family and also Japanese mythology. This manga series deals a lot with Japanese mythology, and I'm a fan of Japanese mythology. So yeah, my pick for the best completed manga series is this one, Noragami. And before I talk about anime, what was the best new manga to me? So this is the manga that I read for the first time in the year 2024. and I will have to choose Dun Da Dun. Definitely Dun Da Dun. It is probably the best manga series that I read in the year 2024 as well. Seriously, it is just so good. This is the kind of manga that shouldn't have worked. If you think about the premise, seriously, the premise is just so insane. This is the kind of manga or story that shouldn't work, but it worked in Dun Da Dun. It just worked. And I think it is amazing. I have never read anything like this manga series. And that's saying a lot. You don't believe me? Just read the first few chapters. You will know what I'm talking about. It's just so crazy. But moving on to the category of anime, I only have two categories here. And for the first one, it's most disappointing anime. And I don't think I have anything that I can count as a huge disappointment in the anime category. And for this one though, I will have to choose, if I have to choose my least favorite out of all the anime show that I watch, it will actually go to the newest season of Demon Slayer. It's just too short. There were plenty of fillers, and I think the only amazing episode was really just the final episode in Demon Slayer. I get it though, this is a setup for the final season or the final movies, but at the same time I still expected more out of the season of Demon Slayer. But yeah, the final episode, it was amazing. So what's the best anime that I watched in 2024? My options are two. The first one, again, it's Dun Da Dun adaptation, and the other one is Furiren. I won't lie, I did find all the insanely godlike praises towards Furiren make the show just a little bit overrated. I mean, seriously, the praises are just this is the most godlike show in anime of all time out there. I think currently it is the number one in my anime list, kind of good reads for anime and manga. Yeah, I think it is at the number one spot right now, defeating Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which sounds bonkers to me. But this, I cannot deny that it was amazing. It is cozy, it's heartwarming, and then sometimes it's intense as well. But the overall tone is it just makes me happy watching it. The music by Evan Cole, I think the name of the composer. He also did the music for Violet Evergarden, and yeah, it's incredible. The entire show is just amazing, and I cannot wait to watch season 2. I think this is the kind of anime that work better in anime format rather than in manga format. I tried reading the manga and it did not appeal to me as much as I hope. I think the anime is so much more superior. But that's it for the anime categories. Now let's talk about movies. And I did not watch a lot of movies in the year 2024. Not too many movies appeals to me, but if I have to choose what's the best movie, my answer is simply Dune Part 2. Love that movie so much, and just talking about it already makes me want to watch it again. There were some parts in Dune Part 2 that actually reminded me of watching Lord of the Rings for the first time, but this time in sci-fi. And that kind of feeling, that kind of experience, that does not happen a lot to me right now, especially with movies adaptation. But Dune Part 2 did that, and it actually makes me want to reread the book again and this time continue reading the series, at the very least the one written by Frank Herbert. So that's for the best movie. What's the most disappointing movie? Unfortunately, I have to choose Mad Max Furiosa. Now, I am a huge fan of Mad Max. I think Tom Hardy and also the music in Mad Max, the Fury Road, it was just utterly incredible to me. I love that movie. I think I've watched it 3 times now. But Mad Max Furiosa, I don't think it was needed, in my opinion. It was good. It's good, but at the same time, it's disappointing to me as well. It just I did not get that adrenaline rush that I got from watching Mad Max Fury Road. It felt like I was just watching this just to fill the prequel story, just to find out the prequel story before the events of Mad Max Fury Road, and I want to watch that again as soon as I can. So now let's move on to the topic of TV shows. What was the most disappointing TV show? Again, the answer is probably the same as last year, Rings of Power Season 2. There were some episodes in Season 2 that actually made me think, wow, this is actually getting more engaging than I expected. Like the dynamic between Celebrimbor and also Sauron. I think those moments are really the best part of the entire season 2. But the final episode definitely killed it For me, that there was so many inconsistencies and so many issues writing wise in the final episode, just crazy to me. And there were, I think if I'm not mistaken, there is an article that depicted that wrote every single issue that I had with that episode, the final episode. But yeah, so yeah, it was the most disappointing TV show that I watched in 2024, which is saying quite a lot because I did not expect much from the show already. So for the final one, best TV show, I have two here. For All Mankind. If I have to choose only one or two seasons, it's probably season 2 and season 3, and then also Shogun. Shogun is the clear winner here. I just love everything about that show. Every episode was phenomenal. The acting, the music, the pacing, everything was so good. And I think it is even better than the book. There, I said it. I think it's better than the book. And finally, the last category in Petrik's Choice Awards, this is the best video game. And the answer is Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree. There is just no competition here. I mean, I'm in the middle of playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah, Remake, not Rebirth. The first one. I'm still not done with it. And when Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree DLC came out, I dropped it and just played Elden Ring non-stop. Elden Ring is just that kind of game, or From Software games really, is just that kind of game that can make me actually want to play more than anything else. And yeah, I don't get that kind of feeling a lot now, especially with gaming. So yeah, this is my list for Petrik's Choice Awards 2024. Let me know what you think about my list here, and I will try to be more on time in the year 2025. And I will keep my fingers crossed that I do have a better reading experience this year compared to last year, because it's not fun reading books with negative rating. I don't like that. I mean, yeah, I try to always be honest as possible, but at the same time, I want to give good ratings. That's my preference. I want to enjoy reading books, and I hope I can do that in the year 2025. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me today. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye-bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.